everyone, it's Crystal.
And Shannon.
And today we are going to go over, I'm just going to call it
a little different.
Yeah, it's like the power of non-fiction. Or I don't...
Whatever.
Don't ask.
Thing.
Essentially, where this is coming from is it has been years since I have read any sort of non-fiction book outside of a religious text.
Okay.
A religious reference text. So, most of the time, it's a forgotten about avenue for me. And
it's been, I don't know, I read nonfiction every once in a while, but it is not my go-to by any means. Mm-hmm. So, it was, when I do pick up nonfiction, it's different for me. Like, it's not my norm. Mm-hmm. So,
what prompted this was, you know, when you get into a little bit of a reading slump, you've got to look for something new. And so I was looking through the digital library, just click, click, click. What's available? What's popular? Click, click, click. And I found Troublemaker by Leah Remini, which is her autobiography about her life in Scientology.
Yeah, and her leaving Scientology.
And the experiences that she had, what prompted the leaving, and you can see it build up in there. And because I am such a religions nerd, and
I was about to say, I wonder why you picked it up.
I wanted to see her point of view. So I started reading it, and I couldn't put it down. I read the whole book, all 600 pages, in less than 24 hours. It was wonderful.
Like how I used to read Harry Potter.
Then I got into the whole mindset of why haven't I looked into nonfiction before this?
Right.
And so what are the stigmas behind nonfiction? What's been holding me back from nonfiction?
And same, like I definitely have things that hold me back from nonfiction. Like, they're harder stories to get into sometimes. You always think, like, there's this feeling about nonfiction that, for the most part, it's always going to be sad. Or, like, for me, I especially, like, if I hate reality TV, why would I appreciate reality books?
Except for RuPaul's Drag Race, which, by the way...
That counts.
That is just fine.
That's fine. That's the only one. Only one.
So then I started looking at, after I got done with Troublemaker, it was such a quick read for me, so engaging. I'd be interested in trying something else. That's where I found Night.
Had you read that before?
I have never read Night before.
She managed to never read Night by Elie Wiesel, which is, I don't know how you managed that. When I read it too, like, though I was reading it through, it was like for a project through school. So it wasn't a list, but it had to be about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Was the only rule. And he was like, I want to read this one. And I was like, Grant, not a terrible decision.
And I've heard that it's a great book. I know it's won a lot of awards.
Oh, yes.
So I'm looking forward to getting into it. But as I started reading the preface and the foreword in the book, I had this almost epiphany of nonfiction. The purpose for nonfiction is different than fiction, which is kind of like one of those obviously. But in fiction, we look to escape reality and try and discover ourselves through characters and through situations. Whereas nonfiction, I realized, is more like actually being a witness to and acknowledging what's happened,
what's reality,
what people have experienced, what people go through, how we share information,
which can also help you find yourself, like knowing how others have gone through, which is like, it sounds like self-help, but it's like,
well, self-help is technically nonfiction, but of course that's
like any nonfiction book, like as long as you don't even have to be able to relate to learn something.
And I honestly, most of the time when I thought of nonfiction, I thought of self-help books, and I'm not going to read a self-help book. I have other things that I do self-discovery for. But being able to be a person to actually take the time to read someone's story, what happened to them, with both Leah Remini and the Night book. I mean, both of them are situations that actually physically happened in this world that people either don't want to know about or
Pretend didn't
pretend didn't
happen.
happen, or
Current administration looking at you.
I feel like I have really not given it enough credit for how powerful a nonfiction book can be.
And I feel like I've always given it credit where credit is due, because I do read a decent amount of nonfiction, like compared to everything else I have read. Yeah, as compared to her. Like, it's something that I don't usually turn to. It's harder for me to pick up a nonfiction book, but once I do, like once I'm actually interested, like number one example was I picked up The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by myself, and I feel like I've talked about it before, because it changed how I thought about quite a few things, especially like the U.S. medical system and how we treat people. How could the U.S. do that to their own people? Like, they didn't torture Henrietta Lacks, but they took things without telling her.
It makes you think.
It does. It really makes you think.
A good book is there for. A good book is there to
make you think.
Yes, and that's both nonfiction as well as fiction books.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fiction books that I have read in the past that will really get the gears going in your brain. It takes it to a whole different level when you actually can put this as something that really happened, something that's real. You know, when you have a self-realization like this, sometimes you just want to share it. And that's what this is. So
yeah.
When Kevin and I went to Half Price Books last, he knew that I'm kind of on this little nonfiction thing now. And so, of course, he found me Neil Patrick Harris's Choose Your Own Autobiography. It's a choose your own adventure book with his life, which I think is hilarious, and it totally fits Neil Patrick Harris, and I'm looking forward to it. Everything that I see from him, by him, about him is just amazing, so I'm super excited. I know this is going to be a lot lighter reading than Night. I've never really thought about, you know, how poetry is technically nonfiction. Or is it fiction?
Depends on the subject matter.
But the subject matter is nonfiction. Ha! I'm able to pull it back. That's what this video was about, was giving props and acknowledgement to a big part of a bookstore or a library that I have never walked through.
Is it even a genre? It's a genre.
I'd say
terms
bigger than a genre.
Right, terms are rough.
But it's like half of a bookstore that I've been ignoring. And I shouldn't. So I just wanted to share that self-realization with you. And let you know that it is really fun to get to relearn people's stories.
Right.
And I'm thoroughly
share
enjoying it.
your favorites with us, because we want more, obviously.
Yes.
So we've given you a couple of ours.
Give me good ones, because
ones you couldn't put down.
Yes. I want to know more nonfiction that will be just as engaging, and I am super looking forward to it.
Yeah,
so
except for me, Anne Frank wasn't engaging.
No.
Not at all.
It was not engaging.
Night, though, was. Night was very fabulously written.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm looking forward to it.
You'll like it. You'll like it. You'll cry.
So,
you'll like it.
Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. As always, please like this video, and like I said, comment down below.
There's stuff down there.
Let us know what books you like to read, and I will definitely let you know.
Chat us up.
Yeah, what's going on? And as always, you guys have a fabulous day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.